In this video, we're going to discuss what to include and not to include in your class notes. This is important to discuss because your class notes are your number one resource for making your outlines. So we want to make sure the right information is making it into your notes. There are really two main things I want to discuss. The first are rules. One of your main goals in taking notes in your law school classes is to jot down or to capture the rules that are being discussed in class. This is because, for the most part, your outlines should be organized around rules. Thus, we need to make sure the rules are in your notes so they can end up in your outline. Sometimes your professor will simply give you the rule. Other times, you'll be expected to figure it out on your own. And still other times, your professor may point to another rule when discussing the law that comes from a different type of resource, such as the restatement or the Uniform Commercial Code. So, if something like this comes up in class, making note of the reference is important. Thus, to recap this, you want to make sure the rule being discussed in class makes it into your notes and any reference to where it comes from as well. The next thing that needs to make it into your notes are the hypotheticals and examples discussed in class. These are important because remember, your professor writes your exam. So when they give examples and hypotheticals, these provide insight into what you can expect on your exam and how your professor expects you to apply the law. By including this information in your notes, you are ensuring that you're framing the information correctly, at least based on your professor's expectations, which again is helpful for outlining and exam preparation. Now that you understand the two main things that need to end up in your notes, we should highlight what you should avoid putting in your notes and therefore your outlines. This means if you come across this information in your class notes, we would suggest you avoid transferring it into your outlines. Some people avoid putting this information in their class notes altogether. That way, it doesn't accidentally make its way into their outline. This is helpful because most people are proficient at typing and take down basically everything said in class. If you are pickier about what you type, it could save you time in the long run. The first thing you want to avoid taking notes on or putting in your outline are detailed facts about cases. This is a mistake that many first-year law students make, so I want to put it on your radar. Many first-year students brief cases for far too long, and as a result, they think they have to have detailed facts about each case in their notes. However, when it comes time for exams, your professor will not be concerned with the detailed facts of the cases assigned. Instead, your professor's focus will be on whether or not you know the law and if you can apply it correctly. So avoid putting this information in your notes, and if it is in your notes, be sure to omit it from your outline. Secondly, any sort of answers or hypotheticals that's provided by other students in your class, you should be wary of transferring. Again, this is an issue when law students try to take down every single word stated in class, regardless of who said it. This can be problematic later because it can be challenging to figure out where the information in your notes came from, a student or the professor. Ideally, you are just concerned with what your professor says, and you don't want to write down any answers or hypotheticals that another student provides unless your professor indicates that it's correct. You still want to pay attention to what is being said in class, but you should be picky about what you actually take down. So, to recap, when you take notes in class, your focus should be on the rules and any hypotheticals and examples provided by your professor. That is the most important information for outlining and exams.